Hey everybody, welcome to the Passion for Purpose Up Close and Personal podcast today, hosted by Dr. Darryl Jones. And today I have with me my nephew, Chris Robinson, head basketball coach at New Manchester High School out in Douglasville, the Jaguars, and also a great husband, father, son, grandson, uncle, cousin, nephew, you name it. It's Chris. So Chris, why don't you just tell everybody, who is Chris?
Like you said, man, I'm a little bit of everything. My passion, like I said, I'm head coach of basketball right now. I coach football. My kids, my passion. My family's my passion. I'm real big on put God first in everything. My family, my team, pray before games. I think he's the head of everything, man. They kind of come from you, my mom. We just trying to make sure he leads life, and just trying to follow my path rather. Okay. I didn't think it was going to be my path, but, it got a funny way of figuring itself out and leading you to something you didn't expect it to lead to.
The old people say, when people talk about you, your ears should burn. And I said, well, your ears must burn a lot because I talk about you quite often and some of the stuff that you're doing. And, I can't help but just think about seeing you turn into this wonderful man that you turn into. And I could say I'm privileged enough to say that I saw you grow through the whole process. And it's just such a great feeling for me. And I do apologize in advance for not being able to make it out. I had every intention of coming to a game this year, but I have to admit, I'm still kind of a little weary on being around crowds. I'm in the age. I've had so many people to leave this world because of COVID and everything, even though I'm tasting stuff. I said, I'm just not ready yet, but I do plan on getting out there, checking you all out, even if I had to just come and watch a practice or something. I just want to be able to see the energy that you all have going on out there. But, it's just interesting seeing how you have grown into this great husband and father and leader of your community and things like that. So how did you get here?
It kind of started in weird. I would say, not trying to give you credit, but you were my first coach.
Okay. Wow.
I think you started T-ball and, kind of went from there. And, I started playing sports. And as I got into it more, I got a love for sports. Yeah. So even through school, I was very sports heavy. Mm-hmm. And I tell my kids now, I ain't trying to be funny, but if it wasn't for sports, I don't know where I would be. Like school, I went to school, but I went to school for sports. Yeah. That was what I wanted to do. That's what kept me grade level where I wanted to be grade wise. I knew if I couldn't pass, I couldn't play. Yeah. So I did enough just to play. But when I got to had my oldest son, CJ, mm-hmm. I let him play basketball and baseball and T-ball, a few things, and the coaching was horrible. Like I said, oh my God, I can do better than this. Yeah. So it kind of got to a point where, so I said, well, I'm a coach myself. So I kind of started coaching them in rec ball and doing other things. And I started realizing, hey, I'm really good at this. Yeah. So other people started noticing it, and I started getting some opportunities to coach in AAU circuit. And, here I am. I got an opportunity to be assistant coach at high school. And I did that for 7 years. And I mean, it just kind of took off from there. And I was fortunate enough this year to have an opportunity to be a head coach. And, we had a successful season. We were successful last year. And I mean, I love what I do, man.
Can't nothing get in the way of a purpose, especially if you're willing to tap into that purpose. And I appreciate you bringing up me being your first coach. I tell that story often. You're the reason I got into coaching. Even though I was your first coach, you were the reason I got into it. I'll never forget, I was sitting in my office at the bank, and your mom called me and said, we need a coach. You want to play baseball, and y'all didn't have a coach. And I hadn't had no coaching experience. I said I'll go coach later on by the time DJ got older. But I said, okay, I can go and practice with this team. So by the time DJ get old enough, I know what I'm doing. So I got you prepped.
I got your preparation.
You was the prep and everything. I said, y'all was my first team. Y'all taught me some stuff. Gave me a lot of battle wounds and scars. I got taken through the ringer. They dogged me out my first year coaching, but it cut my teeth. And I said, every good coach should have some good stories about how they had to struggle initially by some greater coaches and some better teams and things like that. Because if you're going to be good, you're going to have to learn from them. And now I never forget a guy named Patrick Arnold and Anthony and Randy Jones, some of those guys who coach out there. They said, man, you want your team to come and be a good team, just come and watch some of our practices. Yeah. Man, I started going watching some of their practices. Next thing you know, I started bringing it to you all, and you all started learning things, and the rest is history. And to see you go from playing all the way from there, you talked about sports being the thing that kept you in school. That was not dance. You know, if it was dance and stuff like that, I probably, you know, wouldn't have no interest in it and stuff. But, you know, you think about how all that works and it comes together. And, you know, I was talking about you all this weekend. I said, y'all have something in your bloodline. I was looking at the thing that you had out there for the track and for your daughter.
Christine.
I said, Christine, I said, boy, them Robinsons got something in their I said, me, you, Kristen, your mom, Darryl, all. I said, boy, God gave y'all some speech.
It's blessed. Yeah. And then you think about Chase, and Chase, like I said,
CJ, all y'all got this stuff in it, man. So what's it like knowing that you have a natural gift and people are working hard trying to get to where you all are, and they still can't get there, you know? And then it's all like y'all do it effortless. And I know it's not effortless. I know you put work in it. Yeah.
And like you said, man, it's a lot of God-given talent, but it's still to me being able to hone in on that talent and make it work for it. You know, just like I take Chase for instance. Like people, that's about Chase, how good he is in basketball. Like, yeah, he's talented, but Chase works. Like me and him, like season was over Saturday. We started workouts yesterday, so it's no break. He don't want to take a break. He already Saturday morning. He like, hey, this is what I need to get better at for next year. This is what I need to do for this year. So he kind of gets it. And Christina, she's finally getting it too. And I think it's more of us putting that into them, you know, that hard work, that you could be the best, but somebody's always going to be working hard to get where you are. So you got to work harder than them also. It's the same thing with coaching, man. Like I said, I love what I do, but it's not an easy job. And it's time consuming. Sometimes take away from my family. My wife is very, very understanding. She understands what I do and what it takes to be the best. So at the end of the day, man, family is big on all parts. Understanding what we're trying to do, the goal for each one of my kids, and the goal for us. So, I mean, it's just a blessing, man. And I like you said, we have the talent. I mean, we're kind of born with it, but, you know, you still got to work at it.
And that's the beauty of it. You know, it's the saying is, when you coaching, your first team is your family. So when you got that family in order, you know, you got to, if you're married, if you got a spouse and you got the kids in order, the rest of it would come in order. They say the same thing about in pastoring, you know, if you pastor your family, then you pastor everybody else. So you have to take care of home first. And that's the thing that I love about you. You know, you're family oriented, you do things a lot. And a lot of times, you know, when it comes to the family realize the sacrifice, but when they're a part of it and they doing it as well, it's like it's who we are as a family. It's not a thing. This is us. And, you know, and you see that and you do it. And this is a great example for so many other young people to watch and see. You know, you have a village behind you. When I look at your cousins and how close you all are, your aunts and uncles and your grandparents, your parents and stuff like that, it's a whole village behind you. So a lot of times when people see your success, they understand that, you know, it's not you by yourself. There's some support behind you and everything. And, you know, when I think about life in general and how we're trying to just make it and thrive and strive and be the very best we can be, it's really good to know that you have people who care about you and people who support you, even though it might not be what they want to be, but just that knowing that if it has to be, they're there.
Absolutely. Yeah, but like I said, especially my wife, she don't miss a game. I don't care where it's at. We played in Clark Central, Athens. My wife left work and she was there before the game started. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Between her and my mom, my grandma, she got clips, and every time I'm in the paper or I got something, I get a text. I got your clippings. I got your news. You in the newspaper this morning. I don't even be knowing about this stuff.
Nothing either. I don't miss nothing. I got stuff. You know, when I was in the office, there are a lot of guys who worked with me, and they all had like sons and nephews and stuff doing all this stuff, and we just shared information all the time about what our family members doing and all this stuff. And, you know, it's a great experience for not only families, but it's an experience for the communities, especially if those are involved to be inside the school system, because the school system pretty much set the tone for the world. Because when you're training the minds of young men and women through academics and athletics, that's going to be the ones who hopefully stay in your community as you get older and won't be breaking in your houses and stealing from you because you put that love and energy in them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always, especially my seniors, I want y'all to leave better than what I got you. You know what I'm saying? So I always big on what you trying to do on the next level. Like, we're done with the season now, so now we got to start figuring out what we're going to do about college. Are we going to play ball? Are we going to, what we want to major in? So I want to make sure these boys are set up to succeed after basketball. Like, everybody want to play basketball in college, but, you know, that's just not that ain't going to happen.
That's not the ticket,
It's not the ticket. Some got different paths. So I just want to make sure once they leave me that they not only learn something on the court, but off the court also. And they're better men. Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And you said something earlier also about your faith. So, you know, that faith is so important to so many of us who are trying to do something in life, because when we're trying to do stuff, there's going to be some struggles, there's going to be some pitfalls, and we're going to hit some walls. We go say, sometimes no matter how good we prepare and we think that this is it could be an injury, it could be a bad call. And if it wasn't for that faith, man, we'll just fall apart sometimes.
Yep. And I hate to say it, but sometimes, you know, you got to watch what you think, because in my head, sometimes I'll pray about it, feel about it, and I'll ask, and it don't go my way. So then I look up like, oh man, you kind of sold me short. But I always say it's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, I can't never doubt my faith. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they'll get you there. Like, the games, they're so intense, and you want to win, and you want to be successful. You want this and that for the kids. You want this and that for yourself. And sometimes you look up like, man, how you leave me short? You know, you could have gave me an extra point, or you could have made them miss a layup. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, everything happened for a reason. I say it's always a lesson learned. Even if a loss, I'm learning something from that loss.
I say, as much as I don't like to say this, we learn more from losses than we do from wins.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I used to always say sometimes, well, I ain't trying to learn. I just want to win.
I want to win.
I ain't trying to learn right now. You know, I know enough right now. You know, so let me learn this time. Let me win this time. So, but I definitely feel that and understand that. So, what's it like at the school? You know, you had one of the good schools out in Douglasville, New Manchester High. So, what's the energy like there? And what's the administration and the leadership like?
Hey, one of the best high schools in the world. Yeah. Administration, man, from my principal, Ms. Gilchrist, to my AD, I got full support from them. They're all about the athletics. They're all about the academics. Whatever I need, I can ask, and they're going to break their back to get it for me. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that really helps the program, knowing that you have the backing of your administration and the people above you. You know, it makes you feel a little more wanted. It makes you feel, you know, like you can conquer the world when you got the people that's above you on your side. So, and school-wise, even the students, I mean, basketball games, they're packed. The students they're with us. They travel with us. The parents, I have great parents. So, I mean, it's just a great feeling. I wouldn't rather be in any school but New Manchester.
You know, so you had a good school, and the energy that you bring there is so important, because, you know, Douglasville is a progressive city right now. Yes. Douglasville is getting ready to stamp the map on Georgia. You know, a lot of people are sleeping on it, and now that you're out there and you're in the early stage of Douglasville transforming. So by the time it really blow up, you're gonna be established in such a way where it's like you probably have the key to the city if you don't already have it.
Hey, I hope so. But like you said, man, it's just from the mall, from the new housing, they're building new homes. Every time you look around, they're building something new over here. I remember when we first moved down here, my grandma moved first. And we always say, I'm going to my grandma's in Douglasville. Nobody knew what I was talking about. Yeah. Now I say I live in Douglasville. Everybody, oh yeah, I was just there last week, or I go to the mall over there. I do this in Douglasville. I got cousins in Douglasville. So Douglasville is starting to expand. African American leadership is at an all-time high in Douglasville. From our mayor to our sheriff to our school superintendent. So I mean, it's just I love the way it's going. The cultural aspect of Douglasville is changing, and I think it's just a great place to live right now.
It really is, and you know, especially so talk about being a product of Atlanta. You know, you're a native Atlanta. You know, I couldn't have you on here knowing that and not talk about some of the great things about Atlanta that you've experienced growing up. You know, I don't remember if you was a Grady baby or not, but I'd like to tell you.
Yes, absolutely.
Baby. Okay, absolutely. I love to tell people I'm a Grady baby. So, you know, what's it like for you to know that you're from, if not the best city? Well, I ain't gonna say if not, because we know Atlanta.
It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
But what is it like knowing that you're from Atlanta and so many people want to be here, and if people are coming to Atlanta, what would you recommend to them? Talk about some of the best things in Atlanta.
Hey, like I said, like you said, I'm a Grady baby. Mays High School, Southwest Atlanta till I die. Yeah. I still go travel over there and do things. I still got friends and people over there. But Atlanta, I think it's kind of, I say like the Hollywood now. Like how everybody wanted to live in LA back in the day. Like now everything comes to Atlanta. Yeah. You want to be an actor, a rapper, or whatever you're trying to do, you come to Atlanta. And businesses, I think we have African American businesses are at all-time high in Atlanta. Yeah. It's just the place to be, man. I'm just glad that I'm here. I'm from here. I have roots here. I'm from one of the best high schools in Atlanta, Mays High School. So I still support. It's just a beautiful place, man. Yeah. And you know, it's stuff that in Atlanta that I still haven't even experienced. And I've been here for 36 years.
Me too.
I told my wife, our birthday's coming this weekend. I said, we could stay in Atlanta and find things to do that we ain't even done before. And it's like we ain't out of town.
Yeah.
So it's just that big.
Your birthday coming up too, because I remember that March the 7th. You and Solomon's birthday the same day.
Yep.
And, you know, talking about Atlanta, I love Atlanta. I tell people that all the time. And I went to Carver. Well, you probably remember I went to Carver. But one thing about Atlanta is APS, Atlanta Public School System. I put Atlanta Public School System up against anybody. And anybody. You know, the way you feel about Mays, I feel about Carver. I had a unique honor, and a lot of people know this. I'm not sure if you know it or not. But in 2017, they inducted me into Carver Hall of Fame. And man, when I tell you,
I know,
man, that was one of the greatest accomplishments. I feel just as excited about that as when I became a doctor. You know, and these guys put me in the Hall of Fame. You know, I said, boy, that's something that I remember the rest of my life. And you know, I think every high school, I've been trying to talk to people who went to different high schools. I said, talk to your high school principal and see if they have a Hall of Fame. If not, try to talk about getting a Hall of Fame for your high school, because it will really excite the alumni base, knowing that they have classmates going into it, and they might be the one to go into it as well. And y'all got some great people that come out of Mays, and you know.
Yes.
I had Kaysen on, Pastor Kaysen, your friend. I had him on one of the podcasts and everything, and he brought your name up and found out that I think Derek Meredith came out of Mays too.
Yep.
I said, man, I know so many of your friends and stuff. I said, boy, this is just really crazy.
Yep. And all I'm doing great things too, man. Casey's doing some great things. I still, we talk. I still follow him. He's doing some great things. But like I said, Mays, man, it's just one of them schools that our mayor of Atlanta came from Mays.
Yeah, sure did.
So he just Goody Mob, Outcast. So he just all these different people came out of Mays High School, and it just, like I said, man, we breeded some wonderful talent and some wonderful people out of Mays, man.
And you know, and even thinking about that, think about the ones who should have won that they didn't make it. You know, the ones West Nana and Young who went on over to Westlake or something. You know, but they really could have been at Mays. So you just
been amazing.
What it was like, man. It's really crazy. So what you got planned for your birthday? I know you said your birthday is coming up this weekend. You got big plans for that. I know being in Atlanta, you can always find something to do.
Right. My wife's birthday actually March the 5th, so we kind of share our weekend. Yeah. Yeah. So man, after the season, it's just kind of, I just want to be with her. Yeah. Me and her just go do something and kind of get away. Like I said, even if we're just in Atlanta, just me and her, just finding something to do, having some downtime, away from basketball, out of a gym, not worried about kids.
Yeah.
Just
how long y'all been married now?
We on almost 8-9 years, man. And
it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Yeah, and
y'all do for a tune-up. Y'all need to come on in and get a relationship tune-up from us. You know, that's one of the things we try to do. We try to stay connected with those, especially anybody whoever I've officiated their wedding. I try to stay in touch with them, check on them every now and then. And, you know, about you all being family, I get to know what's going on for the most part anyway. So, you know, it's good to get that checkup when needed, just to make sure that everything's going good. But in y'all case, I already know. But, man, just seeing y'all stay married and doing some of the things y'all doing, it just really makes my heart feel good, especially thinking about watching you all grow up and everything. So what was it like growing up? You know, people they look at me and they say I'm so nice and all this stuff. I said, well, I got kids in my family who think I was really mean.
Hey, you're the mean uncle.
Yeah. I said, you know, I didn't like being the mean uncle, but I said, I'm glad that I had a chance to be in the life, to be active in y'all life and everything, because to me, I feel like if you're going to be kids in the family, when you step outside family, when you step outside the community, you're representing not only yourself, but more. And as y'all got older, y'all realize it wasn't just me being mean. I cared so much that I wanted to make sure y'all would be our best.
Absolutely. And now that you go back and look at back then, we were 11, 12, 10. Yeah, you were the mean uncle because you held us to a different standard. Yeah. So, you know, different. Yeah, and it was different things that you did that now you look back at that we needed. Yeah. You know, like discipline wise.
I hear the same thing about you all. You know, Chris, mean uncle now. You know. So how you gonna take my title? You know.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. I just kind of hold them to a certain standard. You know, I expect, this is what I expect from y'all, and if I don't hold you to it, then nobody will. And that's how you work. Yeah. You know, even when we left outside that, some of the things that we thought were mean, we still took, like I took with me to my family, you know.
And you know, it's a good thing to be able to learn as a kid and grow and realize when you look back over it, you know, they was protecting me and they were taking care of me and things. And when I look at what's going on in all, especially like this mid-30-something group, I said, that's the group that was kind of special to my heart because I remember you all from teaching y'all age group, being around y'all age group, knowing all y'all friends and things like that, and seeing y'all doing great things in life now. Man, it's just really a great thing. So you coach basketball, you coach football. What was it like doing football this season? I didn't get a chance to follow football too much this year. What was that like?
Football, like I said, I love the coach, but football a little different. You know, football it's a little more demanding. Yeah. But I loved it. We had a good football team. 2 years in a row, we went to the region. Won region last year. We region runner up this year. But good coaching staff. And the best thing about football is the coaching staff that you're with. You know, you always want to like the guys that you're around because you spend so much time together. Yeah. And all our coaches had a good relationship, so it made the job a little more easy.
So who's some of the coaches that kind of help, you know, as you start doing the AAU and coaching, the younger kids and growing up? Who's some of the coaches? I remember you had a coach over at, what was the guy at West Manor?
Yeah, well, I had a coach at West Manor, but the guy Young, I went to Young Middle School, and Coach Harris. Coach Harris. Yeah, Coach Harris, man, and everybody wanted to be like Coach Harris, man. Okay. Everybody, you know, he's all had the best shoes. Coach Austin had the best shoes. They were young. They had energy. They won. So you know, they were down to earth. They related to us well. So that was always what you wanted to do. I want to be a PE teacher like Coach Austin. I want to be a PE teacher like Coach Harris. Yeah. So you know, and I feel like I'm that guy now. Yeah. So you know,
it's good to hear that because see, what happened is there are guys who say that you all probably imitate and look up to. That they didn't even know that you all were looking up to them. And now you're in that position, and you got guys now who are doing the same thing about you all. You know, looking up to you and everything, and watching how you integrate with not only kids but faculty, staff, parents, and all that. You know, you are like when you think about head coaches, you are like a CEO. You know, you are the CEO of basketball operations because it's more than just coaching X's and O's. You know, you have to make sure they got their grades good. Yeah. They're doing good at home with their families. You have to make sure they're in class and all that stuff. You know, y'all wearing a big hat.
Yeah, it's a nonstop job, man. And I tell people all the time, that's all you see is the X's and O's. So all you see is when we hit the floor, the product that's on the floor playing. Yeah. You don't see the outside, the practice, making practice plans and feeding them and washing laundry and making sure uniforms ready. And parents want to talk to you about this and that. But you know what I'm saying? I have a great coaching staff. I have a great parent base. I got a couple senior parents I'm going to really miss this year because they did a lot for me. I'm hoping I keep them around and find a job for them somewhere. But like I said, I just kind of watching people when I came up, like coaches when I came up, Coach Davis from Mays High School, just how they were in control of everything, how you couldn't tell, you didn't see nothing. You couldn't tell that they had all these other things on their plate because when it came down to it, it was all about the sport. Yeah.
And that's the sign of a great leader when you don't know who the leader is just by coming into a room. Because the leader, for the most part, they lead by what they do. If you have to tell people you're the leader all the time and I'm the boss, I'm the manager, I'm the coach.
I hate that.
Manager, the coach.
Yeah, I hate that.
You know, you don't have to tell them all that stuff. And, you know, that's one of the beauties about being in a situation where you have great support around you, even above you, on the side of you, and even those who coming behind you, being your assistants. Because what happened is those will be the ones who will go out and branch out, just like you was assistant, and now you the head coach. now you got some assistants who are going to be going off being the head coaches soon, and you have some players that's going to come up and go through the system. They're going to be assistants and become head coach. So it's a pipeline, and that's what's important about us living in our purpose. We all stand on the shoulder of great people.
Yeah, and I always say, man, especially with my coaching staff, like one of my jobs is to get them to where they're trying to get to. Yeah. So if they have aspirations of being a head coach or being a assistant coach on the varsity level, that's my job to help them get to where they're trying to be. Yeah. So that's a part of being a coach. Like I want to make sure my guys get to the next level or get to wherever they aspire to be. That's another job that nobody gets to see, but I'm big about that. I want my guys to be able to do whatever they want to do at the next level. So if I'm trying to keep them with me and keep them as assistant coaches, I'm not. What kind of guy am I, man?
Yeah. And that's the thing too, and people will notice that too, and they'll realize either that guy helped me or she held me back. And you want to be the one that said that it was help. Yep. So what are some of your motivational tools you use to get people motivated, your teams and stuff like that? Do you have you don't have to give your secrets or nothing, but you have like certain little motivational skill sets that you use for them?
Yeah, so it just depends on what it is, man. We might sometimes take charges. Like I'm big on defense. Yeah. So I say, hey, we got a $5 pot. Every time you take a charge, you get a $5 out of that pot. Just try to give them, some incentive on, hey, look, this is what it is. You do this, then you don't get rewarded. I ain't worried about who scores the most points, who has the most assists. It's about little things. Yeah. So, and with my guys, I try to make sure that they're honed on each other. Like we speak family. Yeah. So family's big. So we make sure you cheering for each other. I'm gonna coach you up. You're gonna coach your teammates up. We just real big on family and making sure everybody knows their roles, plays their roles, and the success will come around if you win, the success comes. Okay. It ain't an I team. It ain't it's a team.
Yeah, and that's important. When people understand the team concept and that it's a system that we operate in, because with a great system, you look at some of the greatest teams around, it wasn't always about the players, it's the system. And you could come in and buy into the system. You could have a successful team, and you could have some individual achievement. But if you operate into the system, that's what it's all about. And we incorporate that even in our home, our family home. We talk about if we get the system right, all the other parts go work together, and that's what it's about. So
that was one of our quotes, like for the year. Like we always come with a quote for the year. So our big thing this year was, we said every day, we're gonna buy in, we're gonna lock in, and we're gonna be all in. So you do those three things, then success is gonna follow anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's what I like about team sport. That's what I like about organizations. Period. Be it the faith community or the church, the home for the families, the football field for the team, the basketball court, whatever it is. You have to buy in and get buy everybody in there. So shifting gears a little bit, what does it say? What do you like doing when you step away? What are some of your musical tastes, movie hobbies? What kind of things do you like doing that people might not know about?
TV wise, me and my wife we all over the place. Yeah. I'm a Blacklist. I love Blacklist. Yeah. I love humor, like dry humor. Seinfeld. Like my wife, she always talks about me because I watch Seinfeld. But I love Seinfeld. I watch episodes of Seinfeld all day. And of course, my favorite show is Martin. So I can watch Martin every single day, every episode over and over again.
Man, that's great.
Outside of that, man, just my family, man. All my kids are involved in sports, so if I'm not at a sports game, then we're doing something together.
Man, Tisa and I just did a marathon of Seinfeld. We saw every episode. It's like they had it up on Netflix, so they had all the seasons. We watched every episode of Seinfeld. I have a Martin DVD pack that April gave me with all the seasons on it. So I definitely understand those two levels of comedy.
Yep.
Man. But man, I'm so glad to have you all here. Let people get a chance to see who you are and what you're doing and how you're living in your purpose and some of the things that represent not only your community but your family and who you are in faith and things like that. So before people leave, I'd like to ask them to share with whoever's watching, not necessarily how you got in your purpose, but how can people get in their purpose if they don't know how to get there, just by giving them an example of staying the course, not to being determined and following your heart.
Yeah. So I'll give you kind of a story real quick. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, but
okay.
When I got to high school coaching, I took a job over the summer. I wasn't getting paid. Yeah. So I had a job, but I kind of talked to my wife. We kind of came down, we sat down, said, babe, this is what I want to do. I don't know if I'm going to get the job, but I know if I work hard this summer, I have an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, Coach Bailey, who was the coach at that time, still, he gave me an opportunity. I will forever be in debt to him for the opportunity that he gave me. But like I said, I worked that whole summer, no job, not getting paid, quit my job. I just did this. I just traveled with the basketball team. We did summer camps and we did all these things. Yeah. I worked hard. So before school started, Coach Bailey came and gave me an opportunity, said, hey, look, I can get you in the school system as a paraprofessional. I was probably making, $15,000 a year. No money. Yeah. So, and probably making about a little bit for getting paid for basketball. Not much. Altogether, maybe 20 grand a year. Mind you, I got 5 kids, a wife, a home, a car, note. So, it was a struggle.
Yeah.
But my wife, she stuck in there with me. She, whatever I needed, we made sure she made it happen. I made it happen. We just kind of grinded together. Yeah. And I stuck it out and, end up getting a better job in the school system where I'm getting paid like I should be. Yeah. End up getting the varsity assistant coach where I am now to head coach. So it just I kind of took a leap of faith, if you want to say.
Yeah.
It's like a leap of faith. And it kind of all worked out for me because, like I said, I felt like this was my purpose. This was my path. Yeah. And I had to leap out and take that jump to see if it was or not. Yeah. And if it wasn't, something would have happened. I wouldn't have got the job or I've been working somewhere else or doing something else, but it was my purpose. It was my path. And it kind of led me to where I am now, which is I still wake up and still be surprised that I'm a high school varsity basketball coach. And I would have never, I talked to a friend yesterday named Trayman. I think you remember Trayman.
I do remember.
Yeah. And he was talking about how proud of me he was. He's a little older than me and I kind of looked up to him as we grew up. But how proud, I told him it meant a lot because back then I would have never guessed I would have been leading young men or teaching young kids or ladies or gentlemen or whatever. Now you wouldn't have had to pay me to believe that. I would have lost a whole lot of money gambling on that one.
Yeah. And it just tells me how amazing God is that we don't even realize because a lot of times we have no idea. We have plans and we want to try to do things and we have hopes and wishes and things like that. And at the same time, God is in the background making stuff happen. And when it happens, it's like, man, how in the world did this happen? Yeah. And God's like, oh, so you ain't gonna thank me? I'm doing all this stuff, and it's just amazing. And most every successful story where people relied on going into their purpose, there's a struggle before it gets there.
Yep.
You gonna have to struggle in some kind of way, either financially, you gonna have to say, hey, I can't hang out with my friends for a while. Yep. I can't do this. You're gonna have to sacrifice something for a while to get to that level you're trying to get to. And it's a great thing to hear you say that to people, not only young people, but a lot of people who are older too, because there's a lot of people who wish they could just say, okay, let me just take a leap, But what happened?
Yeah, but it's scary. It's scary.
It won't be the first time or the last time. Yeah. But at least, I'd rather have somebody who took a chance every now and then than someone who played it safe every time. You don't want a person who plays safe every time on your team because when time get hard, you need somebody who got some extraordinary faith to take that leap. And that's what you're doing by doing that. And your players will be able to learn and grow from that leap of faith when it comes to them, when they get to hear this story. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And I appreciate all that you're doing. Man, I love you with my heart. And, I'm always be in your corner. I'm always support you. And you know that you can reach out to me anytime.
I know.
I'll be there for you. And I love you and your wife and your kids. I need to see them some of the kids I haven't seen in a while and everything.
Yeah, they're huge.
So,
and they're huge now.
Yeah, and I can only imagine. So when time get a chance, I'm sure we all get together and do some things. But I really appreciate you coming here on Passion for Purpose Up Close and Personal Podcast. Up close today with Chris Robinson, the head basketball varsity coach, New Manchester High School located in Douglasville. The Jaguars, right? The Jaguars.
The mighty Jaguars.
So thank you for being here. I appreciate everything. So Passion for Purpose Up Close and Personal Podcast. You have it here. Chris Robinson, the head varsity basketball coach of New Manchester Fighting Jaguars. Good talking to you, nephew, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. Love you, huh?
Holler at you later. Love you too. All right.